Thank you very much, and good morning and welcome. Please excuse my speaking in English, but I will be reasonably brief. This is rather a unique occasion to bring what the Minister and Deputy Minister have highlighted as being a partnership really to reality. That's a partnership between a European institution mobilizing European resources with a national government and with private sector banks. And I think all the bankers here would recognize that to be on a platform signing a similar deal, a level playing field, to actually mobilize resources in the competitive marketplace, but for the benefit of small and medium-sized companies in this country, is rather unique and rather powerful message about all our intentions to improve the economic situation for enterprises in the country. So, Minister, thank you for all your support indeed to rather quickly mobilize this. And we're now in intensive action with this instrument that we're signing today and with the risk capital instruments that were mentioned earlier. Please let me also thank the partner banks. We have relationships with a number of these institutions, both in this country, going back some time, sometimes with their parent banks in other parts of Europe. And that is the role the European Investment Fund plays, is to deepen its contacts and its partnership with the institutions that can make a difference in these marketplaces. And that's local banks as well as multinational banks. I think that we are at the forefront of using public money in this form, has been described as financial engineering, to complement, to deepen impact, to complement grant systems. And indeed, there is a considerably greater movement towards using revolving instruments where the benefit of public support gets through to the end borrower through advantages relating to the cost of financing or the level of collateral or security that individual borrower has to provide. And this is the innovation related to JEREMIE instruments, but in particular here today we're talking about loan instruments and loan products for SME borrowers, small and micro borrowers. Just some numbers that were mentioned, just to clarify how we see it. We have engagements from the 5 banks on the platform to mobilize for portfolios totaling 400 million euros just with the deals that we've signed today, with guarantees up to 25% of the risk of those portfolios. And that is the impact I think we'll see over the next 18 months, 2 years, as those loan portfolios build up. We will be having a similar sort of impact by mobilizing private sector capital to invest beside the JEREMIE funds for these risk instruments that were mentioned earlier. So that is, and the intensive work going on to actually sign those deals, to get them working such that we can meet the deadlines that were mentioned by the Minister, to have your OPs, your operational programs under the structural funds for competitiveness of your economy, really mobilized by the end of this year or early next year. So we're determined to assist where we can to actually make that happen. I think I will leave it to a bit later on for some of the bankers to express how they're also working in this marketplace. So they will all be saying a few words to the press to articulate how in reality this instrument is going to work. But it leaves me to thank some of the people who don't get the glory by making speeches and sitting on platforms, but who are actually have done the work here in the ministry here. We have relationships going back to an earlier period, I could say 3 years ago even, and who've stuck with this and helped us ensure that we can be effective here. I want to thank my team who have been on the ground for a number of months now in terms of actually making this happen in the country itself. So thanks to all those who've made this happen, and I'll pass on to, I think we'll move on to an opportunity for the bankers to speak.
И може би направо да започнем с въпроси и отговори, където ще може да чуете и от колегите от банките не искат да кажат. Или ако колегите от някои от банките искат да кажа няколко встъпителни думи, или направо към въпроси и отговори. Така че отворено е за каквито въпроси имате към който и да било от панела.
Може ли аз да отговоря на един незададен въпрос, който знам, че често е в главите на хората? С какво този сложен инструмент е по-добър от това да раздаваме пари на калпак? И отговорът е следния. Това са пари, които се използват и техният ефект за бизнеса се чувства в неограничен период от време. Грантовете се раздават веднъж, парите свършват, някои успяват да ги използват по-добре, други по-зле. Като цяло резултатите са смесени. С револвиращите инструменти, каквито са тези, бенефициентите, фирмите, които получават финансиране по тях, всъщност допринасят с успеха си, след това, за това и други фирми да имат успех. По-лесно финансиране, фирми, които при други обстоятелства, малки или иновативни фирми, не биха получили финансиране или биха получили много трудно и много скъпо финансиране, тук го получават лесно и ефтино. Това е един устойчив проект, устойчив модел, в който парите веднъж след като са влезли в България, след като сме направили всичко необходимо те да бъдат верифицирани и усвоени, са наши завинаги и създават един ресурс, който се използва в много дълъг период от време.